right, everybody, welcome to episode 64. We're back doing our normal thing. Looking forward to
There's
it.
no
I've got
echo this time.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you too. It's awful nice. Yeah, that was such a fun time, and you and I've talked about wanting to do more on location stuff, and we'll have a way better system for that. I mean, that was just kind of a thrown together. I don't know if anybody remembers, but we didn't even know Day versus Axie was doing that until just a few days before everybody was flying out to New York, and we just kind of decided to do it on the fly. So thanks for being patient with us. Sorry for the sound quality. But wow,
I mean, here's the thing: again, I wasn't able to make it. I had major FOMO about not being there, but it was awesome to be able to see everybody in one place and hanging out. And honestly, it was a great episode from what I heard. I was connected directly through Discord, and for whatever reason, I didn't have the echo until I went back to listen to it to mix it for the audio version. And just decided to scrap that idea immediately. It was pretty bad for those of you listening in, but man, we had a decent number of people who stuck around and did pay attention. And despite that, Echo got great feedback. I mean, it was a good show. There was a lot of good information and a lot of cool guests.
Amazing guests. So, yep, absolutely.
So yeah, we'll have to figure that out for the future. And
yeah. I've already got some good plans for it. We'll get it. It'll be awesome in the future. We'll just have headsets for everybody, and it'll be a fantastic experience. So, plus if we're just there, we don't have to worry about potential feedback from the stream and everything like that too. So, yeah. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us for Axie Chat. My goodness, not much going on.
Oh my God. I don't even have anything to say about that anymore. It's
I know. I can't.
That's the running joke, and we've got multiple updates this week. It's a freaking good week in Lunasia.
So yeah, let's hit the disclaimer really quick. And again, thanks to Newfound for doing that disclaimer for us. Here we go. And let's see, is it running? Oh,
nope.
I think I hit the wrong one. Let's see here. There we go. Boom.
This content is for informational and entertainment purposes only. You shouldn't construe any such information or material as legal, tax, investment, financial, or other advice. We have no responsibility for your decisions, are not game devs, and our opinion could be flawed. Axie hard.
AK to do that for us in the future. Oops, it's trying to run again.
He's got a great voice for it.
I know, it'd be great. Ultron and James Spader doing this content is for informational and entertainment purposes only. And I apologize for my voice. I picked up a bug. I am lucky I don't have COVID. I've tested, but there were a few people. So if you are out and about, make sure you're being wise and being safe. Make sure, if you're concerned about it, that you're getting tested, and everybody hopefully gets feeling better.
Yeah, I mean, big shout out to everybody who did get sick or are feeling a little under the weather. Like you said. Hope it passes pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Hope everybody gets feeling better quickly, and make sure you take care of yourself, whatever you need. And welcome to the public stream. This is our public stream. We do an exclusive stream, kind of an after party show after this one. Those are for people who hold our all access passes. We'll talk about that. News about that though. Maybe you want to share that, Enjoi?
Axie Chat passes. Yeah, so we've been, the quarter threes now have been going for a little over a month now. We do like to keep those exclusive. There's still about a month and 3 weeks left to those passes, and we're going to be cutting those off pretty quickly. What do we decide? Next week's going to be the last week that we're selling those?
Last week to get it. Yep, absolutely. Let's see here. I'm hearing some sort of beep. Let me see if I can figure out what's going on.
That's me. I'm supposed to be watching a baby and the monitor's dying.
Okay, worries.
Anyways, move on, guys. We couldn't have an echo for you this week, but we got
it's me. Anyway, if you're paying close attention to the slides, I put a little bit of fun stuff in the slides. Those who are listening in, I apologize. The little visual gags won't probably translate, but we'll have a good time with them anyway.
I fixed the beep.
Oh, no worries, man. It's no big deal. I'm so used to it being me that's causing the oh my gosh, I can't even talk today. Technical issues Anyway, okay, so
Technicolor Dreamcoat.
right, yeah,
All right.
exactly.
We're moving. We're moving.
Hey, so
Is that Ron Burgundy?
I don't know.
It's more of like a royal blue. Can we get a Ron Royal Blue next convention? I think we need some.
I love
All
it.
right. Somebody's got to cut me off.
So what's incredible is they did say, there was a flurry of updates coming. A lot of times we feel like it's just Jeff edging us on, and we never know for sure what's coming when or what's actually going to happen. But guess what, man? Flurry of updates for real. We really get it.
For real. And the question is it's he mentioned a flurry. We've had more of a blizzard in the last week, or are we going to keep seeing snowflakes over the next couple weeks? That's the question.
Absolutely crazy. It's just, I think I even discorded you. Like, did I get everything? Like, it feels like so much has happened. I am barely able to keep my head above water. Like, the idea of trying to breed Axies or something right now, I don't even know if I could put that in my head with all the different things that have happened. So yeah, people who are still out there breeding and paying attention to all that stuff, awesome. Kudos, way to go. I'm having a struggle just making sure that I'm on top of all the different staking and liquidity providing and all the different things that are happening right now. So and it's really kind of tough, dude, because I don't know about you, but numbers go up and it's hard to not just want to sit and watch those numbers go up.
Yeah. Hey, a theme that I noticed last week is they kind of made that Ronin Katana announcement while everybody was in New York. And I bet a lot of people didn't have their treasures on them. They weren't able to make the moves that they wanted to up front. Were people complaining about that at all? Was that a I don't know, topic of conversation?
I think everybody knew that was a possibility, and so either they chose to risk carrying that type of very important device, or they chose, well, I'm headed off to this and I'm just going to be happy with dealing with it once I get back. So yeah, wow, everybody, thanks for the subs. Crypto Zen, I saw Jay, I saw Explorer. Guys, thanks so much for supporting us. It's so very meaningful seeing so many people in real life too. We'll talk about that because we got to amplify Enjoi's FOMO even more, especially today still. So we'll talk more about that. But it was just such a pleasure to meet so many people and get a chance to share space with everybody. So cool. Looking forward to more of that in the future too. So cool. All right, well, let's get into it. There has been some news from the team. Big one is, everybody was asking forever, when Dex? Well, Dex now. Dex for a minute. And Katana, what a beautiful name, man.
Yeah, I like it. I wasn't feeling it immediately, but it's grown on me a lot. It's sharp. It's quick. It's, I don't know, what else are Katanas known for?
Yeah, sharp, fierce. Yep. Just being very, very strong because they're folded carbon steel. Just absolutely the best swords that basically have ever been created. Yeah, Katana, awesome. I love Ready Player One. I know there's a lot of people who love that story too, but two of the main characters are Shoto and Daito, which are forms of katanas, which I don't know, freaking cool. It's the long one and the short one with the samurais. And anyway, yeah, I love Katana. And not only do I love katanas and the concept of katana, I love the Dex. Oh my gosh, it's just absolutely incredible. So very nice to be able to swap tokens just with the liquidity fee, not having to deal with transaction fees. Of course, we're going to talk about Ron. Oh, wait, is there another Ron on here? Anyway, we're going to talk about the Ronin token. I absolutely love the video that announced this.
Oh, it's amazing. The last two have been, they've just been on point with their cuteness and their conceptual imagination. I don't know. They've done a great job with those. And, we're seeing a lot of other projects and they're they don't have a game yet, but they're leaking trailers and stuff like that. And, there is something to say about having like some visual representation for what's going on. It really makes it feel more more legitimate, more professional, all that sort of stuff. So it's cool that they're taking the time and doing that.
100%. I like the way they're doing it too, when they're actually like showing a video that describes what they're releasing, as opposed to people creating videos to try to hype up things that may or may not come into the future. So yeah, absolutely loved it. I loved that at the end, it has all those things moving around, Axis, SLP, everything moving around, and then it pops out a Ron token at the very end. So cool. I absolutely loved it. What a cute bird, Axie, too.
Awesome. So cute. I feel like we saw that same exact one in a recent leak. That actually looks familiar. Regarding, I want to say, some V2 leak.
I didn't know if you were going to catch that or not. Good job, man.
Yeah, it looks familiar.
Yeah, baby bird on the back there. That's Wonder Weird's asking about that in chat. I noticed that too. There's something super cute on the back of that Axie.
Somebody's been breeding.
Yeah.
Something I wanted to bring up about Katana and the latest update today, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
Is people have been talking for quite a while about how all these updates only benefit the OGs, right? They only benefit the whales, the people who have a lot of money to throw into it to harvest all the Ron or whatever. And while some of that is true, I guess. I think the biggest winner with all of the updates this week have been the people who are grinding it out, which is awesome.
Yeah.
How much money is wasted bridging assets back and forth and converting them in Uniswap? Like, people who are transacting in large amounts of money, they don't necessarily care about $100 ETH fee, but when you're only talking about $200 or $300, that's a third of your thing, and you've got to make multiple transfers. So Katana is huge for a lot of people. And now, I guess you still can bridge out to Binance, but I'm wondering what other kind of off ramps there are to actually get money into your account. And again, we're going to talk about it in a minute, but the whole mobile wallet too. We've already been seeing SLP being utilized in the real world, and now with this, this DEX, people can transact and transfer that into some of these other currencies, and then actually be able to utilize their phone and send it to places in the real world. So I think we're going to see a lot more interaction between the online, the digital world that we've been building and the real world as we keep moving forward. A lot of this stuff is just enabling that.
Yeah, so I totally agree. And a teacher play here in the chat makes a really good point. And I've seen like Sando and a few others working hard to help their team, scholars, whatever you want to call them, learn how all this stuff works too. And, the great thing about that is with just some SLP, being willing to sell some of that into Ethereum and participate in some of these liquidity pools, you can earn Ron. And it's pretty important because right now we have free transactions, but this is going to switch so that transaction is going to require some amount of the Ron token, which is absolutely sensible. It's the way it really is designed to be in a blockchain, particularly the style of blockchain that we have, proof of authority, proof of stake. Makes absolute sense that we are going to need the Ron token moving forward. And so having any amount of Ron is probably pretty important moving forward. So hopefully people are acquiring some Ron. Right now, though, like you said, with the mobile wallet dropping, we haven't got to that yet. But if people are willing to take Axis directly or SLP directly, it's a neat time where you can just on your phone send payment directly from wallet to wallet, no transaction fee, and immediately have that done. But what an incredible time. I initially had said Axie GameFi, and Jiho kind of clarified to maybe AxieFi. So I've kind of adopted this AxieFi term, which I think is really awesome. AxieFi is teaching everybody how DeFinance is structured and works. And How many people have gone to the effort of really understanding liquidity pools and then taking it further, understanding how they get tokens for their liquidity pool positions, and then staking that token in order to farm other tokens. Most people don't really get so far into learning about yield farming and some of those technical aspects. But here comes Axie Infinity, finding a way to introduce these amazing concepts, staking tokens, definance through AxieFi, and having the ability for people to learn all of these really high level concepts, all within a game environment. It's absolutely incredible, and people, again, we're getting to the point where I don't know if we can completely say early, but still, I would say until we're through the Ron drop, right? At least through the 90-day period where the Ronin token, where Ron is dropping to people who are staking, I'd still say we're still at the front end of this, but it's not going to be at the front end forever. It's kind of time to get in and get moving, don't you think?
Yeah. I don't know. So you just said something that was interesting, right?
Yeah.
About how Axie's bringing a lot of people into DeFi or teaching them about this sort of thing. And I don't understand why this isn't getting more attention in the broader crypto space. Like,
we say that over and over, man.
I mean, Axie in general, and I'll broaden it to, games, to play to earn games, are bringing people into the crypto ecosystem. They're teaching people about how all this stuff works. They're teaching about stable coins. They're teaching about liquidity pools. They're teaching about dexes. Like, all this stuff that we've been pushing for years is now going mainstream, right? It's not necessarily early anymore, but you're still looking at this broad market of maybe 10 million users. I mean, we've got 2.5 million users daily, but like, how many people are in the overall crypto market that are actually utilizing this stuff? I would argue a lot have just bought some. Now people are buying some some Bitcoin and ETFs, but they're still not utilizing the system. They're not transacting with wallets. But the people coming in through Axie are actually utilizing this stuff. So I don't know, man. I think we're definitely still early. There's a lot of people on the planet. The team keeps talking about how there's like a $1.9 billion player base that we could potentially hit. Which I think is reasonable.
Oh, absolutely.
But I'm almost just as excited about being the conduit to bring all those people into crypto in general.
Absolutely,
that's super exciting to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm not trying to say that we aren't still early, because we are. I mean, we have. I'm impressed with the daily active users. The spreadsheet that Jiho gave us was a little different than the little clip he gave us that showed the actual daily average users. It looked like we're closer to maybe 2.6 million daily active users now. Absolutely incredible. But yeah, that 1.9 billion number makes a lot of sense when you look at just kind of what can be earned in this environment. And I can't wait to talk more about SLP, some of the things that are happening here. Some of that we have to hold off for the exclusive, but some of it we can talk about now too. I mean, SLP just got an incredible new use case. And, when you look at the two pools that actually are generating the Ronin token or the Ron token, I'm really, really excited to see that the SLP one is still a little bit underfunded compared to the Axis pool. Because I think that allows a lot of the, earners, the ones that are out there actually farming the tokens, to participate in that way and get some of this Ron token. I think it's going to be absolutely awesome.
Well, we've been talking about it for a long time that, one of the biggest complaints about Axie is that the SLP is going down. And, we always discuss that SLP is never meant to be an investment. If you're holding SLP expecting it to go up, then you're not speculating, right? I mean, there's a difference between investing and speculating.
Sure.
Like, sure, it can go up, you can get a quick profit. But, if you want to invest your money, if you want to basically put it in a bank account and expect it to grow, Axis is the route for that, or potentially Ron moving forward. Like, there's better places, or ETH. basically
Yeah.
anything other than SLP. And so
Ethereum's
now
been on a tear,
with
man.
right, and so now with Katana, like people can easily transfer that SLP that they earn on a biweekly basis into some of these other things, and then they can transact with those in their native currency or in their local
Yeah.
markets. So that's super exciting to me. But something else we saw, I think was it Sandow, who had an initiative, and basically he said to his scholars, hey, I think he was going to give them 300 SLP
500.
each to 500 to
Yeah.
farm with.
Sandow's been on fire.
Right. So now these scholars are also getting, not only are they now investing their money because they have to match that with ETH, but they are also learning about the liquidity pools. They're getting a percentage of the profit of all the transactions that are going on through these pools, and they're also farming RON. So now they're getting a huge stake in the ecosystem rather than just holding this one token that's not really meant as an investment. And that's huge to me. I'd love to see more initiatives like that. Because
100%.
realistically, the more engaged everybody gets in, scholars or otherwise, get in this ecosystem, the more we're going to spread it, and the more people are going to be happy. Like, I'm so tired of people complaining about SLP going down because it's just not. It's just missing the point. And now there's a lot more. You can go. I've been talking for a lot.
You're talking. It's great. I love what you're saying, and I completely agree with everything you're saying. I'm still really, really bullish on SLP. I feel like we haven't seen the new Axie season, where Axies themselves are going to become in huge demand. I sent out a tweet, and I mean it. Basically, what has happened here with Katana, with the RON token getting released. We still don't have a lot of information about that, but with the mobile wallet, all of these things are kind of like the infrastructure that allows really cool things to be built on top of it. And so we've laid kind of the skeleton, we've laid kind of the foundation of what now we can move forward and just do some amazing things in the Axie Infinity space. And I get so unreasonably excited about what's coming now, because now we have the ability to swap just a lot of tokens. With RON coming in, transactions become better. We don't have as many dropped transactions and so forth because of the free transaction RPC that's required to do that. We're going to have a more stable Ronin chain. And there's just so many things that are coming that have me so excited. Like, these were the steps that had to be taken before we can really get the game going. The fun game. I mean, again, Battles is awesome. I love the game, but I'm looking forward to a metaverse, a multiverse of even Axie, just straight up Axie Infinity mini games and different experiences that are on their way. These things unlock the gate for all of that to happen. And so it's really exciting. And people are going to start realizing that, hey, Axies are the ticket to all of this that's coming in the future. And I just think we're going to see, more people wanting to acquire Axies, own more of them. I have envisioned in my mind that it's going to make sense for people to want to acquire and own a lot of Axies. And maybe that's alpha, maybe that's just something that's my opinion, but I feel like the more Axie assets that you own, it just tends to be the more benefit you tend to receive from doing that. And hey, thanks for the subs. I saw Darkmark and Wobbleman. Thank you. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. So man, we're just kind of shotgunning this because we're so excited about the releases. Katana, the Dex, incredible, great release. The team is knocking it out of the park with its releases. Another thing before we move on that I wanted to say about the Dex, I've used many decks, 1inch, Uniswap, Sushi, just a ton of different exchanges that are out there. Yeah. The thing I love about how Sky Mavis approaches these things is they're just so clean. That's just the best word. Like, it's just beautiful, clean. There aren't distractions. It's just all really, really simple but profound, powerful. I absolutely love the style that they're using. I would say I wouldn't mind a dark mode at all, because I've kind of gotten used to dark modes on almost everything that I use.
Yeah, I mean, my eyes are on fire. I agree with that.
But otherwise, it's just beautiful, simple, minimalistic is a good word. I think it was
for sure.
Wonder Weird that put that, and I love that approach. I think it makes sense. You can always scale up. You can always make things more complicated if it is justified. But starting with something clean and beautiful is the way to start. So just wanted to compliment the team, and also on their releases. They're just doing a great job. Hey, I got to meet Quinn in addition to programmatically, and Quinn is I hope I'm not like saying something I'm not supposed to say, but he was involved in, he's kind of their new marketing focused.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did hear they pulled somebody else in.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got a chance to see their little mobile, it was not mobile, but temporary Axie HQ, and they're all there just at work, man, around that table. It was really, really cool. I put on some Beatles records for them, so they had at least something fun to listen to for a minute. But
real quick, one other thing I just wanted to point out while we're on. Hey, this is a good slide for this too. While we're on the topic of Katana and Ron and I guess transaction costs in general, people are very concerned about having to pay for transactions moving forward. And generally, if you're not familiar with the various Ethereum side chains and stuff like that, generally level 2 side chains tend to be very, very cheap.
Yes.
Based off of what we've seen for some of the previous transactions coming in from Binance and stuff like that, each transaction currently is like 0.0002 RON. So it's not it's not even remotely 1 RON per transaction. It's a small fraction of that. But on the off chance price gets up to like $100 per RON, which is that's a far shot. You're still looking at like 20 cents per transaction or 2 cents or something super minimal like that. So don't worry about us losing. Hopefully, I'd still like to see them give us some sort of free daily transaction. But even if they don't, it's so small. It's such a small percentage. So just throwing that out there.
No, I agree with that, and that is a really good point. I think that there can be a concern about the free transaction issue, but I like you just said, with the amount of RON required in order to make a transaction go through, it's so minimalistic, and I really don't think it's going to be impactful. Certainly not in the way that like it is on the Ethereum chain, right? So I think that it's going to be rational, reasonable, but again, it's a service that we all kind of use, and it's pretty important that it has some method of handling those transactions with a fee, and it's going to be minor, it's going to be insignificant. What I'm really excited about is to see the tokenomics for Ron, and I know that they've said that they're going to release it fairly soon. We'll find out when they do release that, but that's going to give us a lot more information about those questions, those issues. And I had heard that there's likely a portion, and I think it was in this announcement as well, that a portion of what's used for the fees is going to go basically into a treasury, maybe even the treasury that we already have, the community treasury. And so, it's going to be good. Some of it's going to go to validators.
I did check that with Psycho, and this is solely the Ronin treasury. It is not mixed with Axie.
Right.
So there will be a Ronin treasury.
Another reason to hold Ron, huh?
They're completely separate products, and like you said, we need to wait for the tokenomics to see what exactly that means. But it sounds like there's one, it's value accruing. Two, I mean, it needs to be spent, it needs to be owned in order to transact on this cheaper ecosystem, and within, I mean, the Axie ecosystem in general. And so, I mean, there's two use cases, and then, I mean, talk about future like, I don't know, need for this thing.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
only are we expecting Axie to keep growing like a freaking weed, we're also expecting them to bring in other projects. You know, not even just games, but potentially other, other decentralized finance sort of, contracts and stuff like that. So I could see it. I could see a lot of, I don't know, a lot of demand for this thing.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just a clean chain. It works really, really well. And just a reminder to everybody, like, I don't know your experience, but my experience is like I put a transaction through Ethereum, and even the fastest ones can take up to 45 seconds to go through, and I'm spending a crap ton to get that type of transaction to go through. Here on the Ronin chain, sometimes I think people are like, oh, it didn't immediately go through. Well, yeah, you got to remember, it's still running blocks, and those blocks are 3 seconds. And so it is going to take a second to send the transaction, verify the transaction, and report that the transaction went through. Even in the fastest scenario in a blockchain setting, you're going to have some form of delay.
I was trying to, so I had a couple wallets that I had that ENS airdrop for this morning. And I was trying to accept it or, claim it. And I don't know if it was high gas or what the issue was, but multiple times I pushed it through on high gas, and then I bumped it up to another level after I had already submitted the transaction because it wasn't going through. Cost me $180. And it failed, and it took the $180, and it happened probably 6 times between my two accounts. And the reason I'm saying that is because I've had failed transactions go through on the Ronin chain, but I'm not losing massive amounts of money every time. So I mean, even just in that regard, like think about the pain it how much pain you go through as a new user of this stuff. With so much money on the line, like $180 is a crap ton of money. And, especially if you're, a kid who's trying to play a video game, like, so reducing that pain, is, I mean, again, it's just another thing that helps the Axie ecosystem stay sticky.
Yeah, absolutely. And amazingly, again, the team has always come through with just great plans. So not only do they come up with a concept that they've told us about that they're going to implement, they put icing on the cake. Like, we knew that it was highly likely that we were going to get Ronin token for providing liquidity. And yep, indeed we are. And they teach us more about DeFinance. They teach us about how to farm with Ron. So yeah, the Axis Ethereum pool and the SLP Ethereum pool, they are going to return over the next, was it from the start, 90 days to the end, 10% of the total RON that's available for that's the total fully diluted market cap. So 1 billion total RON, and 100 million of that is being distributed through those two pools, which amounts to 555,556 RON daily for each one of the liquidity pools. So yeah, absolutely. If you're not doing this yet, if you have some of these assets, or if you're interested in, I mean, in some ways, and I don't want to overstate it, but I mean, you and I, we're Axie Maxies, we're in this 100%. So for me, this can be seen as like the opportunity to mine Ethereum when Ethereum was just very, very beginning. That is kind of what is happening here. Am I overstating that? I mean, I really don't think I am. Like, this is the RON token for the chain. This is what Ethereum is to Ethereum main chain. Having some of this RON token is hugely, hugely important.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely important. And when we're talking about these failed transactions too, as we get more and more users, the blockchain space is going to be it's going to be harder to get. There's never going to be enough space. I mean, we can upgrade this thing a million times, and if we keep growing again the way I expect, and I'm sure the way the team hopes, we need a way to create priority. And so what that means is that some players who need to get a transaction through quick can up that gas.
Right.
I mean, it's the same as some of these other
Yep.
It's the same as some of these other projects, except we don't need necessarily to have it be, again, hundreds of dollars. It's just a different system.
Yeah, I just don't think it's going to go that way because the platform can be expanded so that we don't have to deal with that. And it's not like a proof of work scenario. Instead, it is this proof of authority, proof of stake chain. So it's not the same. It's not going to require, video cards running in order to make that happen. So just incredible opportunity. The team is making this available to the community. I think that if you plan on being involved with Axie Infinity moving forward, it's probably quite crucial that you acquire some of this RON. So don't pass this up. I do think that at some point here, and I'd love to hear your take on this, we're going to end up with a RON, I assume RON Ethereum pair here fairly soon. So I think RON will be purchasable. Do you have a time frame for that? Do you feel like, is it within a week?
I don't know. People are saying that it might take the entire 90 days of the distribution. The reason that they stated that they weren't releasing it yet was because they didn't want it to be a small pool and have price unstable. And if that's the case, do we need 100 million to create a stable, economy for RON? Maybe not, but I'm not sure what that number is. I think anything's going to stabilize over time, especially if they activate the actual usage of this thing. My other question is where is the other 90% of the RON supply coming from?
Yeah.
Are they going to drop it to community members? That way there's not as much friction to people who are already playing. Maybe are they going to keep some internally because it is their blockchain? Maybe. But how they distribute that might change that timeline as well. Quick, I want to call out a comment in chat. I'm going to read the whole thing. Deruta133 says, "I know you guys are Axie Maxis." Yes, but it would be cool to talk about Ronin being a centralized blockchain and permanent loss, and 1.2 billion SLP being minted in one day. And I think it's important to talk about. So the centralized blockchain, I personally think that this RON distribution is the beginning of it not being a centralized blockchain. I think eventually we're going to have more validators, or they're going to open it up to other validators as well. But the Axie ethos, I guess, all along has been the more control that a centralized group has in the beginning, the stronger it's going to be once it does become decentralized. So while it is a Sky Mavis product and they're making money off it, ideally, and it solidifies the system, I do think that it's going to be more decentralized over time. But as Baronar had mentioned, we still don't have the white paper. We don't know what the distribution looks like. We don't know how much the team's keeping, if any at all. They might just be farming it like we do with their distribution. I don't know.
There was a huge amount that went into the staking pool here recently. It went from 124 APR down to 116 or even less. I can't remember for sure. But I think that the team even mentioned, I think on Twitter, that they were going to stake the access that they were entitled to. That was kind of the plan, and maybe that's what happened. I can't remember when it unlocked for sure, but I know that was their intention all along. And yeah, I agree. There's no question that this is a centralized blockchain right now. I don't think anybody's trying to debate that at all. It's the question of how does it move forward to a decentralized chain, and how much does that matter? I mean, it is. I agree. It is important that things move to decentralization, just because that's the way I like things in general. But I also feel like like you just said, decentralizing too early can end up with kind of anarchy, and not really good forward thinking, where things have direction and a course that they need to be on, and goals. So I think, to me, it makes sense that they'll have some concept for moving forward for validator nodes, how that's gonna work. That probably has, if you're running a validator node, you're going to receive some of the fees, so you're going to get more of the RON token as well. The more validator nodes that are available, the kind of less centralized it becomes. I'm sure that they'll have, a white paper that kind of gives us some of these details. The claiming for SLP didn't surprise me one bit. I think that people have been waiting for something like this to happen before they claimed their SLP. Like, I think there were a lot of people that were just willing to leave it in game and not actually claim it onto the chain because they were waiting to have the SLP so that they could stake it and, provide liquidity with it, and then stake that liquidity token so that they could earn RON. I'm not surprised about that, not one bit.
The interesting thing is, if you look at axieworld.com, they've got the charts of the SLP issuance, and there's always been spikes, and it's been about weekly at certain times, because that's when the unlock period is. So you have a bunch of people who are kind of still on the same schedule, or you have some large scholarships that are unlocking on the same time. And so you do see peaks, but like baronar mentioned, now you've got a use for this outside of just breeding. And so while, Axie prices have kind of gone down or just been stagnant, and maybe not everybody's breeding like they were in the past, this whole staking idea for RON is another way to lock up SLP. So, the fact that it's there was a large mint doesn't necessarily concern me, because it's being utilized. It's doing something positive in the ecosystem. It's giving scholars another way to utilize it rather than just dump it on the market. So I think it's, aside from the number, because it does feel like a massive number. It's almost 2x what the previous largest spike was. I don't think that's going to keep happening.
No.
This was purely a people waiting for something to do with it, and oh man, the Dex is out, we better start staking for RON because there's something else that it could be doing for me.
I bet that there were a lot of people that really were. To be honest, like, I've known some scholarship programs that they pay their scholars kind of out of their own stash, and they don't actually make the SLP claim. And so, at this point, it makes sense. Well, I need to claim all of that, so that then I can go ahead and make that useful with the liquidity pool and farm RON. So right now, the liquidity for SLP right now, at least on the Ronin price index, is 7.77 cents. The total liquidity of SLP is $220.5 million US. So it's highly unlikely that is going anywhere, because that is what people are using to earn the RON token. So we've just effectively removed a giant portion of the total market cap of SLP from being in play, because now it's being held to get the RON token. And it's
not just the RON token; it's the fees from the transactions too. And SLP is by far the most transacted token too. So there's some massive fees on that side of the pool as well. And like we were talking about earlier, this is a huge benefit for scholars who are borrowing Axies and playing and just earning SLP, because now they have a way to turn this into a bank account that's actually going to make them money. And baronar, sorry for cutting you off, but this is probably a good time to segue into that impermanent loss thing, because people are afraid that they're potentially going to lose money too.
Of course,
it really doesn't work like that.
No.
I guess you could lose money if
if everything goes down, but you were going to lose that anyway, right?
Right. You want to explain how that works? Or
oh yeah, I'd be more than happy to.
About that?
Yeah, so impermanent loss, basically that's just it's a way of seeing an opportunity cost, really. So if you stake a token at a certain amount and the token raises in price significantly, then what's going to happen is the other side of the token pair is going to go up. So you're going to end up having less of that token. So for example, if the SLP price went significantly up, what's going to happen is you're going to end up with a lot less SLP, because as you're providing that liquidity, as a person does a trade, they're giving you Ethereum technically in exchange for SLP, because they want the SLP because it has higher value, right? So now if you would have just held, say, 100,000 SLP, and now that ends up being worth 20 cents when you staked it or you put it in the liquidity pool, say it was at 10 cents, well, guess what? You have a lot less SLP now than you had initially, and you don't have 100,000 SLP that's worth 20 cents now. If you just held it separately, you would have. But you will have a little bit more Ethereum because you got it on the way up and you got some fees on the way up too. But people, when Axis was at $4 and went to $50, the impermanent loss is profound. So, when you see really big moves of one side of the pair, you can see a lot of impermanent loss that's kind of hard to stomach. But, so long as so long as Axis and Ethereum kind of follow the same path, you're not really going to see a whole bunch of impermanent loss anyway. So long as their growth rates are similar, you're going to be okay. So yeah,
the key is it's not loss in terms of loss of capital. It's loss in terms of potential
opportunity.
If one token skyrockets, it's slowly going to shift your position to the token that was kind of left in the dust.
Correct.
So if you're staking Axis and ETH, and Axis goes up, you're going to have less Axis but more ETH. It's also kind of an interesting way to DCA out.
Yes, absolutely.
To slowly move your money to or spread your money to another, to slowly move out of a position.
Right. So
anyways,
a current example. I think people are kind of interested in this, but like a current example is the ENS drop, right? So if you had an Ethereum name service name, then you qualified most likely for the ENS drop. If you did not want to hang on to ENS and you kind of wanted to, over time, get maybe some fees, but exit ENS in kind of an elegant way that just kind of dealt with the price as it changed over time, providing liquidity, ENS to Ethereum, if you want Ethereum, might be a good way to do that. Because if Ethereum goes up compared to ENS, then you will end up having less ENS over time and more Ethereum over time. So, like you just said, it's also a way to kind of transition out of a token if that's a goal that you have. I think you and I want to hold on to as many Axie Infinity tokens as we can. But hey, Ethereum's not bad either. You don't mind having Ethereum, right?
No. I think it's an interesting way to, and the reason I'm staked in Axis and ETH more than I'm staked in ETH and SLP personally is because either one, if I get more Axis, I'm super excited. If I get more ETH, I'm super excited.
Exactly.
Like I'm happy either way.
Yep.
Now, if ETH goes up and SLP goes down and I'm left with a lot more SLP, now I got to figure out, do I want to breed with this? Do I want to try and sell it? There's more questions for me on that side of things. So I'm happy staking, more, even though it's less rewards, more ETH and Axis right now.
Yeah, and again, I'm super, super bullish on Axies themselves. It's a weird time right now with all of these things being released. It's kind of hard to wrap your head around everything that's happening. But it does feel like it's Axie season pretty soon. So just be careful with that. Just pay attention to how things move. It's kind of funny. Like we get all excited about Axis, we get all excited about SLP, we get all excited about Ron, but we forget there's land items, Axies themselves. There's lots of stuff still out there that's on their way, and a whole cadre of tokens to come related to upgrade. Yes, related to upgrading Axie parts and all that. So yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so hey, great news, and this is a huge one for me. The
Yes.
Ronin Mobile wallet is live. I did it. It was slick as could be. I got on the marketplace on my phone. It connected right up with my Ronin Mobile wallet. I absolutely loved it. It's so, again, just so clear, elegant. Again, I want a dark mode, but otherwise, it's just absolutely beautiful.
Jeff, we need a dark mode.
Yeah.
Jeff.
I like the white and blue. I think that's really, they really want to push that, but we gotta save our eyes, guys. I mean,
No, it's slick, but we're getting old. I mean, that's why Baronar's wearing sunglasses right now because of this white background. Guys, you're killing him. It's not even summer anymore.
100%.
And again, this is I really see the biggest benefit to new people coming into crypto. Like, how many people have gotten scammed because they downloaded fake Ronin wallets? It's so many.
Yep.
It's so many people. Like, every day, every time you see on Twitter that somebody lost Axies and they didn't give away their private key, that's why they downloaded a fake Ronin wallet.
Yep.
And now there's official Ronin wallets on both major mobile app stores. So hopefully that'll cut down on that a lot. I don't like it when people either work really hard and then buy some assets and lose access to them immediately. Yeah. And I don't like it when people are new to the ecosystem and buy some assets and, oh man, somebody stole them. It's just, I mean, not only is it not cool, it's hugely saddening for myself, the user, etc. Yeah. But it's definitely not the way we want to make an impression coming into crypto. So
yeah,
I mean, this is huge.
Yeah, and kudos to the team. The process for it. For me, when I did it, I just did it through Chrome, the Chrome extension. It just was great. Like, it came up with a QR code, but it was fuzzed out. You couldn't. It didn't work until you specifically read the disclaimer and clicked, yes, I understand that this QR code is everything. And then you scan it with your phone. It syncs it up. But actually, it makes you give a numerical confirmation. So it gives you a code that you have to enter as well. So there's lots of great safeguards that have been put in place. Again, everybody's just got to be wise. Like, this is your money. Like, these wallets are your wallet. If somebody ends up with access to anything, like if you let them scan your sync QR code, you're done. Somebody can just take your stuff. So just be smart.
Right. And again, 95% of our user base does not play on a computer. They play on mobile phone. They don't have access to a computer. So, like, how were they accessing their funds before?
I think a lot of people were using this Kiwi thing, and I'm not going to throw shade at Kiwi. There have been some reports that was not good, but now this is, like you were saying before, man, like, this is incredible. People can use their phones. They can go use these assets for transactions to potentially purchase things, groceries. We've seen some people buying vehicles, various different things that they can use it. I mean, again, it replaces cash. It can replace cash. It can replace a bank account. It can replace all of these things. And for the billions of people who don't even have a bank account, this is a huge technological upgrade. It can serve a lot of people in this world. And again, I don't mean to get overly dramatic, but this is a step forward for people who own at least a smartphone, into a world that they may not have had access to previously. So, access. See, look at that, man. Trung, you're brilliant, man. So cool.
Oh, Baronar, you're being dramatic.
I know, but I believe it. I get dramatic, but I honestly believe that this is going to. It already has changed the world, and it's going to continue to change the world. It's just absolutely. It's revolutionary. Okay. I was just looking at the comments just to. I think we can't overstate how important that mobile wallet is. So NFT and NF, I can never forget NFC, NYC, NF. The thing happens.
It's a lot of letters. They're all the same,
and they have
mostly.
ends and stuff. Yeah,
I know, it's tricky, man.
I met Bryson. Bryson was on the stream with me, man. It was so cool. So was Amy. I mean, and so was Chuck, and Ziori was with me a ton. The Axie sisters were everywhere. They're absolutely incredible. There was a panda running around. Got to meet so many people from Axie Chat, the Axie Chat community. Got to meet just amazing people. There is a Ron hidden in this picture too. But yeah, this was mostly from Dave versus Axie, and I just wanted to give a big shout out to Dave versus Axie and Trumpery. Absolutely, this was such a great opportunity, such a great venue. It was really cool. Coco's one of the Axie sisters. That's awesome. That is beautiful. But yeah, I mean, this was so incredible. And you and I have talked like, location events are definitely in Axie Chat's future. This was so cool. I'm sad that people got sick, and I hate that I'm sick right now. But honestly, like the opportunity to share space with people and talk to them, like Freak is on this slide here. Disco, some of the just amazing people to be able to just kind of jam with them and talk. It was just an incredible time. Oh, hey, let's see. So this is Mike right here. I'm highlighting it with the arrow. So everybody knows Mike is programmatically. So there's programmatically.
Yep. Face to the name.
See
some Axie Chat shirts. That's cool.
Yeah, I know there were a couple baronar hats. Baronar B.
Oh, man.
That's so cool. Jiho is just knocking it out of the park, continuing to do interviews. I loved this quote from him. Community building is the only distribution strategy that works in the early days. It needs to be a grassroots movement. Community is the bedrock. And I love that Sky Mavis recognizes that Axie Infinity realizes that the groundwork is laid with community. It's a cooperative effort, right? The team has empowered the community in this space to do so much. And in return, the community has just done an amazing job of content creation and relationship building. It's been absolutely amazing. There are quite a few things in this little slide. So the other one is, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I just realized that we're still mid-flurry. We're still mid-flurry of updates. So we've got the November development update coming up. We've got the season 19, which is probably going to come. I mean, I can't imagine it would go further than next week, right? Like, are they going to push it out another week? It seems like all these announcements recently, or these tweets, are talking about it coming up real soon. It seems like so I think. Hold on, I flipped out of here. Yeah, so Ziori's mentioning that it's maybe time for skill and morale to become a bit more significant, which means to massive meta updates. And maybe new part sort of stuff. I mean, Jiho also leaked that thing with the all the resources. Are we gonna get something with resources soon? That'd be freaking awesome. Like, there's just so much coming up. There's so much.
Yeah, and he won't let go of the upgrade stuff either. The branch chain evolution.
No, I saw that too. Yeah, he tweeted. I mean, it's literally the same week. He's either running out of content or he's really trying to hit that thing home.
I mean, is he trying to forecast something? It's so hard to know. We do the tea leaves all the time, trying to look into the crystal ball, and that's what we're about. But I'm telling you, man, if we're seeing skill and morale become a bigger factor, to me, that is the sort of change that gets me very excited about the current battles version.
Right.
Because I love crits. I just don't like speedy Axies getting crits. Speedy Axies should get lots of damage. That's great. And they hit hard and they hit first. But I want to see bugs and beasts just just crit a lot more. That so I don't know. I guess we'll see. Skills I like too, because I really get into combo cards. I really like the idea. I mean, you add combo plus morale being a huge thing, and then all of a sudden Confident Furball becomes this awesome play, where right now, Furball isn't very in play, and Confident, you never know if you're actually going to get a crit. Even with the increased morale, you might get another tick of Last Stand. It's hard to know. But yeah, season 19, if they're talking about fundamental stat changes like that, wow, that
No, here's the question. If they're making massive changes to Battles V1, what does that mean to Battles V2? Does that push it out further?
Nah.
Does it not matter since they're planning on having both live at the same time anyways? Since a lot of people already, still like V1 and don't want to let go of it. Like, what does that mean?
With 2.6 million daily active users, probably looking to double that within a relatively short frame of time, I think it absolutely is okay for people to choose a path. If you want to go into the hardcore esport, I mean, we don't know a lot about V2, but maybe V2 is about kind of a fun player versus environment dungeoning, raiding type of experience. We just don't know yet. I mean, it's hard to know how the games compare, if they compare any of that information. But to me, it seems like having more opportunities for people. Hey, thanks, Davicio. So cool. Thanks for the sub.
What a stud.
And what a stud, like, for real. Like, Davicio and Alana, oh man, so awesome hanging out with them. Yeah, so his
now we're gonna get yelled at after the show. You didn't call me a Chad,
dude. Everybody's freaking a Chad. But, I did spend a little bit of time with Davicio, and Britt and BA. Oh my gosh, okay. I better stop.
Don't name people. You're gonna get yourself in trouble.
I know.
We met too. You don't remember
Wobbles
me?
and Chad. Dude, just call it out in chat. We'll just call you all. We'll call everybody a Chad. And thanks for this.
All 636 people watching right now. You're all Chads.
For sure, you're Chads. Like, I'll tell you this though. If you're here listening to this Axie Chat, we're talking about hugely important stuff for Axie Infinity. And again, we're maximalists. We're not gonna shy away from the fact that we love this
Dark
stuff.
Mark 999. What a Chad!
What a Chad, man! What a Chad! So yeah, all right, we'll move on. I'm excited. So a few other things. If you saw some of the NYC stuff, down kind of in the
wag me.
I just wanted to shout out Daniela and Steve, the Magic Wizard Guild. Steve took amazing pictures. Like, rather than being in a lot of the pictures, he took a lot of the pictures. So a lot of the things you're seeing out there came from Steve. OG, awesome. Straight up Chad. I got to talk with OG for quite some time. The dude is like 6'7", absolutely incredible guy. Freaking so cool to hang out with so many of these people, and OG's story was just amazing. You get to hear people's stories, like how they came into the space and what they're up to. So this one was more about Jiho presenting at the conference. He did an amazing job, really good. They didn't really give him a whole lot of time. I was a little disappointed about that, but he knocked it out of the park, and just hit all the great points quickly. And then afterward, there were some of these pictures taken, really, really cool. I don't know if you can overemphasize the Axie sisters. Something about the Axie sisters. I think they're gonna be like huge celebrities. I don't know. They are compelling, man. They were hitting.
I can't get Wagami out of my head. I also.
Oh, you cut out. You cut out for me. Say that again.
I said I can't get Wagami out of my head, and I also, more especially, can't get Cloud White dancing in the background out of my head. It will not leave, and it's not something I'm trying to keep there.
That was one that I missed. He had to take off, so I didn't get Didn't get to hang out with Cloud, but next time.
You didn't get to dance in their video either.
I didn't. No, I was
really disappointed us all.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You could have rapped.
I could have. I could have rapped it like a rap man.
A rap. Oh my
god. You know, anyway, we'll move on. I am kind of a uncool dad. I'm just kind of a gamey, geeky nerd dad. In case you didn't realize that, everybody. Anyway,
if you were to be a musical artist, would your name be Rapped Ron?
Ooh, look at you hitting the dad jokes. Is that in chat or did you? Oh, it wasn't chat. Kind of.
No, I kind of. I didn't steal that though. I promise.
I like that a lot, man.
I actually changed it around last second to be more topical.
Rapped Ron. Yo. All right.
No. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. We better move on.
Trying to save our audience here.
Yeah. For sure. Excuse me. So, hey, the numbers look great. Volume is way up. I think the excitement is infectious. People are starting to acquire Axies. The prices have gone up. We had, for a minute there, I had to go 5 pages in before I could find an actual Axie for sale. I hope that the marketplace gets kind of resolved that way, where we don't have so many bugged out Axies that stay on the market, even though they've already been sold.
Yeah, I mean, and this is showing, great numbers. This is showing us 30 million total volume, so we definitely had a pickup. But, I mean, there was a day, a couple of days ago, 40 million total volume. So, yep. I mean, we've seen a dramatic increase. And I'm not sure if that's just because, more traffic's coming into Ronin because people are getting, I don't know.
It's great.
Why do you think this is?
Well, I think people are excited about it. When you see that you can stake Axis, and now there's a pretty easy way to get to Axis. If you work hard and get some SLP, you can convert that to Axis without having to bridge over or go to a different exchange. I think it becomes easier to see a pathway that those Axie assets can earn. I do think SLP went up a lot, so I think that excited people and they were acquiring Axies too, because that SLP price was up. And we're just going to have to see what happens with SLP. I have a feeling we're going to see a breeding fee change. I don't know what that's going to entail. But SLP is the token that can, man. I'm never ruling SLP out. I don't know for sure what the future holds for it. But like if you're interested in Ron right now, SLP is a pretty good way to engage and get into Ron. Like, the amount of liquidity held in Axis that's in the pool is getting closer and closer to 400 million, and SLP's just a little bit over half that. So if you're looking to acquire Ron, and I mean, I know it's not everybody's a whale. I'm not trying to say that, but getting SLP and entering into that liquidity pool, you can get a higher percentage if you were to do that. So. Anyway, good numbers.
And good point in the chat too. The higher ETH price definitely helps that.
That you can acquire more SLP
number.
Yep. Yeah. Oh,
well, no, I mean, just in terms of how much money spent.
True. Very true. Yeah, it makes the USD number look up, and it is up. I can't remember that's not really important right now.
These Ron pictures are going to give me nightmares.
Good. Well, that was kind of the hope. We'll see.
That was it?
Well, I mean, not nightmares, but you can't get away from Ron, man, no matter what.
Apparently not. He looks like he's going to choke you out.
So, look at all the little wood check marks on this. It's pretty impressive, man. Server scaling, staking dashboard, Ronin Dex. Whoa, how did I get that on land gameplay? That
marketplace upgrade? Weren't we just talking about stuck Axies? That's
I'm hoping
that's coming up next.
Yep. Things are going well. Like they're ticking things off, and it's incredible. A lot of the stuff that got ticked off too, off of the checklist. Some things weren't even on this, like the mobile wallet. So. Treasury is looking absolutely incredible. 3 billion in Axis at
With a
150
B.
with a B, with a baronar B, and 200 and almost 10 million in Ethereum from treasury fees. Absolutely incredible. The treasury's killing it. A little more random stuff. I absolutely love the workspace that Ziori and Jiho are working in with the Axie sisters, just, going at it behind them. So Dave versus Axie, this is what I'm talking about. I feel like an Axie season is almost upon us. Like he says here, we only have enough Axies to grow total players by 17%. And that's if everyone had only 3 Axies. I'm looking at my scholarship pool, my program, and I'm getting less and less of a fan of the word scholars because it's just not a very good descriptor. But my gaming pool of, contractors that are earning tokens, I'm feeling more and more that giving more Axies to the ones that are doing well is the best move.
Your international friends with a profit sharing agreement?
Yes, there we go. International Friends Profit Sharing. The IFP. Anyway. IFPAs. So, also, if you want to know more about potentially estimating Ron returns, Puff Chatty, who I love Puff Chatty. Like, sometimes Puff, he puts out some wild stuff. But sometimes he hits things that are just right on point, and the information about Ron was awesome. So if you're not following Puff Chatty, you might want to think about it. There's an official Axie Esports Twitter now too, which I assume is run by Ziori. So follow that. Cool. So Shrubs, man. What has a higher market cap this time next year? Axis, SLP, or Ron? And that's a difficult question because, like you said,
I posed it.
Ron is fascinating because with a 1 billion token market cap, as opposed to Axis, which is 270 million, price changes have an effect on the market cap on a much grander scale at $1 billion. And SLP, really hard to know where we're headed. Are we headed into like a high burn season where SLP ends up getting just, destroyed because we have an Axie growth period where people are just wanting more and more Axies? Do we end up with a breeding event by a year's end? Do we get kind of holiday breeding event number 3 here at the end of the year? And then all of a sudden people are wanting to just burn the crap out of SLP. So, market cap being
SLP could stagnate at 6 cents and 3 trillion of them could print. And we're looking at a $40 billion valuation.
Gigantic.
Anything could happen with SLP.
And that's what's so incredible about this question. I absolutely loved it. It's hard to know for sure because if other projects end up on the Ron chain, Ron could do a lot of stuff. I'm betting on Axis. I think SLP is going to be absolutely amazing too. I don't know, man, because it's really hard in the sense that as people are out there, working with their digital assets, and with version 2, with upgrade tokens, I just have this feeling these Axies themselves are going to be in high demand. I think the Axis staking rewards remain. Ron, I don't know. I assume there will be some amount of Ron that continues after the first 90 days as far as a farming yield. What do you think about that? Or do you think they just shut it off?
No, I would assume that there's going to be a yield for quite some time. Again, there's still 90% left.
Right.
There's still a lot left. It's just how are they going to distribute that? And,
probably not at the same rate, right? I mean, it probably...
Yeah, I would assume they drop the rate and distributed over 5 years or something.
I like Pollution's comment in chat. I agree. I think wood is going to end up being the highest market cap at this time next year.
That's because you're going to hoard it, like
particularly the rare,
like the De Beers family with the diamonds. You're gonna run a monopoly.
Genesis, Mystic Genesis wood, legendary Mystic Genesis wood. Digital Nation rising, already risen, just going higher and higher. Absolutely incredible. Just a reminder, as you mentioned before, do you
see how fast he's rushing through this, guys? You guys just got baronar Axie hard, and now he's rushing through to the end. Let's talk about wood.
Oh man, it's so fun. So yeah, the all access pass, we hang out after this, we get into some usually some deeper analytics, some discussion, kind of an after party too at the same time. That requires the all access pass to get involved with that. We'd love to have you. Like we said, we're gonna one more week for Q4, and then we're gonna turn that one off as well. Just a reminder, we do have some merch stuff, pretty fun stuff, and I think we're gonna get more official with the little competition / promotion thing that we were planning.
I've just been bad at Twitter. I know some people have been taking pictures, but we got to make an announcement. We'll push the deadline back. I don't know.
I know somebody who took a picture with their Axie Chat shirt in front of the Statue of Liberty, which was kind of cool, but I don't think that person qualifies for the promotion.
Was it you?
Oh, wait. Yeah, it was me. All right. Hey, we're going Nova in November, man. Supernova.
I was trying to figure out how to pronounce Nova November.
Nova November.
All looked like one word to me. Anyways, yeah, man. I think we got more updates coming. I'm super excited. I mean, the last week has been just phenomenal. Axie in general has always been a powerhouse in the fourth quarter, heading into Christmas. So, land is still on the roadmap potentially for end of this year.
Yeah.
That'll be interesting. We're expecting that they're probably going to do a round 2 beta test with V2 testers. So I'm not sure who's part of that, but I'm hoping that they're either mid-testing now, or maybe we'll get some more leaks coming up soon about that. Again, we got the November development issue coming out in a couple of days.
Just a couple days.
Man, we're gonna be packed the next couple of weeks. I think we'll have plenty to talk about.
Yeah. You think we'll have enough to run a show? I hope so.
Oh my God! All right, time to end this thing. I'm tired of the dad jokes.
Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Always just such a great time. We love talking about Axie. Absolutely wonderful. Such great things happening. Good job from to the team. Like, really, just knocking it out of the park with these releases. Just absolutely incredible. And yeah, so hey, everybody. Gosh dang it. Axie hard.
Have a great day in Lunacia.
Absolutely. Hey, take care, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us.
See ya. Peace.